All right, super excited because my ring light is working again. I guess I pressed the button a couple extra times and it's working, so that's really cool. Also excited because this is the last winter TAIWAN oolong, and I'm excited because I think I have narrowed down exactly which one I like, and that is the winter oolongs. And tonight I think it's going to tell the tale. I have one more left, which is a summer picking, and it's actually labeled competition grade. So, competition grade's got to be good, right? So if this winter picking beats out this competition grade, then I know I'm in business, right? So look how dark that is compared to the summer that I had a couple days ago. It's really a dark amber color. The summer was like really green. This one is not green at all. There's like a green tinge to it, but it's really more like brownish, I think, or something. All right, so let's try this very quickly. And I did make some boba, and I was very careful with the amount of milk, primarily because this thing was so dark. I was like, I'm gonna get it perfect, All right, so look at that color, really clean brew, of course. See what happens. You can smell the roast right out the gate from the cold brew. So yeah, definitely more of a roasted flavor. Again, I don't know if that's because they just roasted it more, or if it has something to do with the actual time of the picking. Winter, later season pickings typically mean that the tree has had more time to absorb more nutrients and minerals and things of that nature, and so you have a more complex, deeper, darker flavor in most teas, across the board. Um, that's definitely the case here. There is a little bit of sweetness, sort of a grape, almost green grape, but very tiny bit of green grape, but sweet for sure. Typical Oriental Beauty sweetness. A lot of roast and a lot of kind of like maybe fudge type things going on the back end. All right, and then this is the boba. I did add a little bit of condensed milk to this to sweeten it, and I think I put in just the right amount of sugar to get it to the color I wanted. Yeah. Now, this is not a weak tea. That summer was much weaker. This was almost like drinking chocolate milk. That's really good. I like that. Um, all right. So let's get this hot brew going. Got near boiling water. See the leaves. I can actually see them a little bit. Yeah. It's like just nice and black and have some lighter colors in there. And really curious to see what it's going to look like once water hits it. Because I know the leaves are going to lighten in color. Really don't know what to say about the smell of the dry leaf. There's definitely an aroma there. So I'm just going to wake these leaves up a little bit. Uh-oh. Did I not plug the phone in? What was I thinking? Let's do that. I think I had it plugged in. And for some reason unplugged it. There we go. All right. Oh, wow. Hmm. I love the fact that Oriental Beauty is like this dark black leaf at the beginning. For some reason, I associate that with the word Oriental Beauty, you know, like jet black. Yeah, just slightly kind of a grape uh, aroma. Definitely more of the kind of fudge, maybe cacao type aromas going on. And not gonna steep this very long. Just want to get an idea of what's going on here. And take a look at that color. So again, we're talking about something amber. I don't even, I usually say something in, apple juice or cider. This is even darker than that, you know, I think. And some activity, not a lot though, almost see through. So very, very clean brew. Wow. Maybe it's the heat. We're gonna let it cool down a little bit, but it's kind of spicy. Also, too, I was supposed to look up the name of this thing because when I first saw this, I thought to myself, can I really drink something that I can't pronounce? Because what happens is I go out into public with my tea, and inevitably someone asks me, "Hey, what is that?" And I like to be able to share with them, what it is, where it comes from. If they even care, give them a little bit of background on it. Um, but if I can't pronounce it, and you know what? This is from Taiwan sourcing, not tea from Taiwan. Wow, I gotta change that. All right, here we go. So the lack of rainfall from autumn and the sudden onset of cold winter conditions made for catastrophically low seasonal yields. Of course. Um, so all right. So it says the material arrived at the factory in Beipu. It was difficult for us to accept that the harvest was so much lower than our expectations, and for that reason, this season's Shihmen material had to be made into an Oriental Beauty instead of the ball-shaped oolong we usually make. Okay. So normally known as Shimen Taiguanyin. Taiguanyin. Oh. Was once famous for its heavily roasted Taiguanyin, aka Iron Goddess. Okay, so this is Iron Goddess, but they made it into an Oriental Beauty. That is interesting. Um, yeah, so typically, however, Shimen's varietal was not the red heart twisted tail peach usually used for making Taiwan yin. The varietal Hard Twig Red Heart is completely different, and though formerly one of the most popular tea varietals during the Japanese era, it was almost completely vanished from today's mainstream tea market. Okay, so I get it. The continued preservation of this rare varietal is one of the main reasons Shimen's tea is so special. Okay. Um, Red Rock was the other tea we ended up. Okay. So basically, what I think is going on is this is a varietal that used to be made for Taiwan yin. It's no longer made for Taiwan yin, so they made an Oriental Beauty out of it, basically. But obviously, they did use it to make Taiwan yin in the past, but it's a different varietal. And now I smell something funky. Not sure what that is. It's different. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I still don't know how to pronounce it. Shihmen. Shimen. 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 Shiman. That's the area that it's from. So the high brew, Typical Oriental Beauty sweetness, a little bit of greenness there, a little bit. Just dark, deep roasted notes that I like. And just something else weird, different about it. It's good though. I do like it. And after having this, I can clearly say that obviously, I'm still gonna have to go back and look at the other videos, but obviously it's the winter oolongs that I prefer. I'm gonna be 90% sure about that. Because I think I remember also saying one day that I didn't necessarily like the winter. And that may have been just the winter when I was trying that day. Okay. So after having that one, the question now is do I lower the temperature? And yeah, let's do that. Let's lower the temperature and see what we get out of it. Because I think I have a feeling what it tastes like. I mean, after cooking it on the stove, I think I have an idea what happens if I use hot water and steeped it longer. And I definitely don't want to steep it any less time than what I did for that first infusion. So I'm at 127 Fahrenheit. And I'm going to time this one. And typically, lower temperatures kind of dial down the roast and allow some of the sugars and everything to really come into the forefront. And so I'm curious to see if that's going to happen, especially now that the leaves are starting to open up some. I can imagine that there's going to be something that would change. And so we're going to do 30 seconds. Let's just see what we get. But I really like this, and my first inclination is just to push it hard. Put some boiling hot water and just let it sit for like 2 minutes, Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, I knew it. Okay, so lower temperatures. This is 30 seconds. It's much greener. The sweetness is definitely dialed up. Part of the problem, however, is that after having that first infusion, I still have this roasted flavor in my mouth, and I think that's kind of clouding this infusion, because the first sip I took, I could tell the difference right away. I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely different. But after taking more sips, I'm like, oh, okay, now it's more just of this roasted thing going on. Because the roast is definitely there, but definitely it's sort of a greener tea. It's sort of the same color, but it's sort of a more greener tea at lower temps. And like I said, the sweetness is definitely there. I think the roasted flavor is dialed down a bit, but like I said, because I've already had that first infusion, trying to get that roasted flavor out of my mouth is going to be difficult to really give an honest, objective opinion. And this, in the wet leaf, it's something weird. I don't know what is the typical Oriental Beauty sweetness. Some roasted stuff in there, but there's something else, like almost like vinegar. Like I said, it's a weird smell. Like you smell it and you're like, that's weird. What is that? It's not pleasing. Let's say that, right? It's not one of those times where you're just like, oh, I can smell this tea all day. No, it's not that. I'm smelling it, trying to figure out what the heck that is, Yeah, it's sort of vinegar. It's all I can come up with. It's different. But it doesn't smell like file. It doesn't smell mildew. It doesn't smell like storage. You know, it just smells different. And I think maybe that has something to do with the story here on the site. Also, too, website what is this, TAIWANoolongs.com or Taiwan Sourcing says the roast level is 1. So it means it's not very roasted. And so that roasted flavor is not necessarily due to the roasting, but probably more to do with the picking. Really makes me wonder now, because I know that the Oriental Beauty comes from a specific varietal as well. And I don't think this is that varietal. Part of me wants to look it up. Let's see. Oriental Beauty varietal. Nope, it looks like they're all going to be different varietals. So they're all bug bitten for sure. Varietal. Yeah, see, everything I'm finding right now on online, they're all different varietals. But I do recall reading a long time ago that the Oriental Beauty traditionally is from one particular varietal, and the name of the varietal actually means, I think, Oriental Beauty in Chinese. But obviously, they sell a bunch of different varietals. And I think as long as you process it like an Oriental Beauty, it's an Oriental Beauty. So I can't say it's my favorite. What I can say though is that there's no doubt that I prefer the darker winter pickings for these Oriental Beauties. Now, one thing I can say about this tea that I do like is that I can push this thing really hard and it gives me lots of pleasure, you know, near boiling water. And I think I could probably just steep this thing until my heart is content. Matter of fact, forgot to stop the watch. Let's see what we get here. See what happens. I'm going to leave it for a minute near boiling water. Well, it's probably not near boiling. Probably about 180 Fahrenheit. What is that in Celsius? Like 80 maybe? 85? Something like that. Yeah. I am certain that that's how I'm going to drink through this tea. The cold brew, really good. Really sweet, deep, dark, rich. You know, man, it's for me. It's almost like drinking Kool-Aid. You know, and it's just there's no sugar in this, but it is that sweet. It really is. All right, we're at a minute. But when you put hot water to it, it turns into this dark, fudgy, really roasted and toasted beverage that I really like. And that's the thing that's so interesting to me about these teas is that they can be so different. I don't think I've ever smelled anything like that. It's just different. All right, here we go. Yeah. Yep. I like it that way. Yeah. Near boiling, and you can probably let it steep as long as you want to. I like it. I think maybe it's starting to give up the ghost. We'll see what happens as I drink through this. Um, Maybe it's not as long lasting. Like I said, I can't say this is my favorite. A lot of that has to do with the nose. One of the things that I like about Oriental Beauties is the sweet, sweet smell that comes off the leaf, and this one just does not have it. You know, for me, that's part of the experience is smelling the leaf, drinking the tea, and so this one doesn't check that box for me. But like I said, it is a winter picking, so it has all those things that I like: dark, deep, rich, sweet, and makes a decent boba because that thing over there tastes a lot like chocolate milk, which for me is perfect. And you know, if you want to, you just add more milk to it, and that just lightens it. And then maybe throw in some fruits. Talking about good stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna have fun going through this. If I find out anything else, I will definitely come back and say something. But yeah, now it stinks. I don't know how that's possible. It's weird, man. Yeah, it smells a bit like feces. It does. Smells a bit like feces. I'm positive there's no feces in this, but it smells a little bit like that. It's just strange. I don't know. I'm sure it's safe, but that is not an awesome smell at all. And like I say, it's not like mold or mildew or anything like that. It's just I don't know. I mean, this is the thing that bugs me too, right? So like again, I thoroughly enjoy tea. I do. Um, I think that it does some things for me, for my health, But I also worry sometimes too that you are consuming a leaf that was grown who knows where, that got packaged who knows where, that got shipped to you, and then you just, you know, ingest it. There's very little regulation as far as I know. I know that they do testing for like chemicals and pesticides and stuff like that, but it's like, what if the leaves got sprayed by donkey poop right before they picked them? It's possible. Or maybe it's just a weird smelling tea that I'm not gonna buy. Anyway, that's my life. I holla.